Alien Earth could have been one of the best alien projects ever, but right now it's stuck between a self-proclaimed brilliance and just general frustration. There's so much I love, and there's so much that also just drives me crazy. For everything they got right, they equally got something wrong. Over the past 6 episodes, I've grown attached to a big majority of the characters. There's only a couple that I don't care about. Today I just want to highlight what I like from characters to the show's look and feel, but I also want to go over the negatives that I have with it. I'm Denoisky. I've been an Alien fan since I was like 6-7 years old. I've touched probably every piece of Alien media you could possibly watch or read. Before I start, I just want to say spoilers for whatever episodes are out as of the time of recordings, which I believe is it's either 5 or 6. And if you're just clicking on here to want to know if you should watch it or not, yeah, you really should. As an Alien fan or just a casual, you'll enjoy the series, but it does have some flaws that weigh it down with being up there with the greats. Let's get into it, but real quick, I want to tell you that I'm going to break the video up into sections. You can use the timestamps to move about as you please if something bores you. First off, they have to be paying a ton of money for this series. Every episode feels like its own mini-movie. Everything from the sets, the practical effects, CGI, it all looks incredible. I guess claims are it cost over $250 million, making it one of the most expensive series ever produced. And man, it shows. Despite some of the negativity between the two, Alien fans are eating pretty good with Romulus and now this. I know a lot of people have problems with Disney, but I feel like they're genuinely trying to make an attempt to make the Alien franchise, they're trying to make the Alien franchise at least okay. And what's been going on with Predator? I never thought we'd see a day where Predator would be back to being this good, but it's just fantastic. But back to Alien Earth, I am so happy they're finally back to the retro futuristic look of the originals. I don't care that they're space truckers, that's just what makes the series stand out. Just look at this image from Prometheus, tell me it has any identity at all. And if you disagree, well, that picture on screen is from Star Trek. This is my shit. It's not nostalgia, it's personality. I hate the space truckers excuse, especially because the Colonial Marines have the most advanced weaponry, having the same analog type aesthetic canonically 57 years later. Alien Isolation, Romulus, and now Earth get the look that I think fans want from the series. I could keep going on about how wonderful the aesthetic is, but I do not want a 10-hour video. This video is already supposed to be only like 6 minutes long. I have no idea how long it's going to be. So let's move on. One thing people worried about when Disney picked up the series is that the violence was just going to disappear, but it totally has not. This might be one of the goriest alien projects out there, and it's a real treat. So far, the Xenomorph has gotten to fully let loose and create some really horrific scenes. But it's not just the Xeno. The show has introduced us to several new alien species that aren't connected to the Xenomorph. The best of which being an eyeball that replaces your eye and then controls you. We haven't gotten to see too much of it, but it's just a cool little guy. And that's also something the show gets right. For the past 46 years, we've learned all about the Xenomorph. We know its ins and outs. The series has lost a chunk of its fear from the unknown, but introducing us to new threats is a wonderful way to bring it back while keeping the original Xeno intact. No weird black goo additions. Also, compared to Romulus, something this show does right is it doesn't feel the need to harken back to the originals. That was my biggest issue with Romulus. They felt the need to do the one-liners and references to what happened in the previous movies for absolutely no reason. When this scene happened,
get away from her. You bitch.
I cringed in theaters. Those scenes make Romulus really hard to watch on repeat viewings. I almost feel like that had to have been some sort of studio meddling. Alvarez is a great filmmaker, so I do not believe that was his doing. Now let's move on to characters. Wendy, played by Sydney Chandler, does a pretty good job in her role this far, but I find myself not connecting to her story as much as I should. But let me be clear, we're still pretty early on in this first season, so as things are revealed, I may connect more later. Wendy, previously known as Marcy, was a child who had a terminal disease and was mentally put into a synthetic body given superhuman strength and abilities. This is the first time in the Alien franchise this happens, at least in film, and it sets up some interesting ideas about what it means to be human, characters often wondering if they're even still human to begin with. Her new synthetic body also gives her a unique ability to hear the sounds of the aliens captured on the Neverland Island. This includes the Xenomorph. As of right now, it's unclear why she specifically has this ability. It is only stated that she is special. The main part I struggle to connect with is the sibling relationship. I just feel an odd disconnect that doesn't work for me. Don't get me wrong, I think both Wendy and Joe are great actors, actors, but they're just not connecting with me, especially because I find other character stories far more interesting. I apologize if I say his name wrong, but I find Babo Casey's performance as Moro to be the best part of the show. The scenes with him and Slightly have been some of my favorite scenes. Sorry if I don't say this right again. Slightly's actor, adressed does an amazing job playing a kid in an adult's body. Moro trying to convince Slightly to steal back an alien egg are some of the most intense scenes, pairing Slightly's naivete childness to Morrow's intense need to steal the eggs back for Yutani. It's truly made these last few episodes fun to watch. I can't explain enough how Babo's mysterious and gritty performance boosts the show. Some other standout performances this far, one being Nibs, played by Lily Newmark. Starting with her first encounter with the eyeball alien, they've slowly been descending into, well, not madness, but almost like a childlike regression caused by trauma, which is fitting considering, well, they are a child put in an adult's body, and they fully believe they're pregnant even though it's not possible. I actually have a theory about this. I almost wonder if her and the eye are still somehow connected, and the sheep the eye is currently in may be pregnant. I have no idea if that's right, I'm just thinking about it. I'm not going to go over every character in detail, so I'm just going to lightning round these past few that are important but still need development. Kirsch, played by Timothy Oliphant, gives an ominous performance, looking like Roy Batty from Blade Runner. These two series have long been theorized to be in the same universe. I'm really loving his performance this far, and I'm excited to see what comes of his character in the future. Last character I want to go over real quick is Boy Cavalier, the young trillionaire that's obsessed with the Peter Pan story. I see a lot of complaints online about how little the Peter Pan story connects with the Alien Earth story, but what I think people miss is how dark the original book actually is. The book shares more in common with the series than the Disney film does. In the book, the Lost Boys forget their families and real lives, losing themselves to Neverland.
Working out a way to get us out of here.
What if I don't want to go?
Peter Pan is also emotionally detached and treats life and death situations much like Boy Cavalier does. He keeps putting his kids in life and death situations. I say his kids like they're his biological kids, but technically he owns them. It's just funny to think about. And despite having technically created immortality, he keeps only caring about the new toys that were left on his doorstep. And the last thing I want to say about Boy Cavalier's character is he has to be partially inspired by Elf from Death Note. I mean, look at how he sits barefoot. Just an interesting connection. Absolutely no clue if it's true or not. It just feels like it. Before I move on to my flaws with the show, I want to talk about how it builds on the Alien franchise as a whole. We first learn that the world's governments have fallen, leading to 5 companies controlling the world. Those being Prodigy Corporation, Weyland Yutani, Threshold, Lynch, and Dynamic. This story mostly focuses on Prodigy and Weyland Yutani. Yutani is nothing new to the Alien franchise, they've been here from day one. The new addition, Prodigy, run by Boy Cavalier, is brand new to the Alien franchise. What we know about them so far is they run a hybrid program turning kids into synthetics, they also just make regular synthetics, and they also run a private military force known as Security Forces. Along with the corporations introduced, we also of course get new aliens alongside the classic xenomorph. This far we're yet to see the full extent of these alien creatures, but their introduction is welcome. Cyborgs are also introduced for the first time in the series, giving us a comparison of what it means to be half human, half machine, full machine but human consciousness, and just full artificial people. I'm not going to bore you with all this means for the series going forward, so now let's just go on to my negatives. First off, I want to say I saw people complaining online about the series and Alien Romulus being woke because of female leads, and all I'm going to say is, have you ever watched an Alien film in your life? Okay, now on the actual negatives that I have. If I do what I'm planning, and you may have noticed, I am using crossfade transition a ton. That is what it's like to watch the series, and my god, we need to take that away from, I don't know, the director, the editors. This series just has a ton of odd editing choices. It almost feels like the series had too long to cook in the editing room and they burnt it a little. Maybe I'm just getting used to it, or maybe they just don't do it as much, but I feel like later episodes don't do it as much. Characters have absolutely no clue how to use a gun. We're yet in the series to see anyone get even close to shooting a xenomorph. It really pulls you out when characters are being this dumb, and at the same time it discredits the aliens' fighting abilities. It's one thing if the xenomorph is outsmarting the characters.
Maybe they don't show up on infrared at all.
It's another if characters are written to suck. If they wrote the alien to be a clever stalker like we know it to be, it would be much better. This kind of segues me into my next problem. The xenomorph can slaughter a room full of people in seconds, yet around the main characters, it turns into a fucking idiot. You need to write your characters smarter, not make the alien dumber. Of course, main characters can't die, but we need a reason for them not to die other than plot armor. Just think about Alien and Aliens. I don't think a single one of those characters died because they were being fucking stupid. Maybe Lambert. My next and one of the biggest problems I have with the show is the kids. My god, sometimes it's rough. I get it, we're supposed to be reminded they're just kids, but there's scenes you can do that, and there's scenes where you need a darker tone. The kids playing here completely takes you out of a scene that should be darker and have a lot more weight to it. It's like, it goes to a dark scene, to the kids fucking around, to Morrow coming and just totally bringing the scene back to being dark. This show, at points, has a definite tone problem. I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Alien Earth, while fun, is a flawed addition to the Alien franchise this far. Maybe as the series begins to enter its second half, it'll start fixing up the problems I'm having. I didn't mention too many character negatives that I'm having this far just because there's still plenty of time for things to make sense. Maybe there's a bigger picture behind all this. If not, it's just dumb writing. Once again, would I recommend this to an Alien fan? Absolutely. Would I recommend it to a casual fan? You'll probably find something fun out here. If you made it to the end of this video, why not drop a sub? You made it this far. Also, let me know down in the comments what issues you're having with the show. See you next video.